All right. Let's see here. For all of us, we get a little more serious briefly here. All of you have been through difficult times in your lives. What did you find helpful about games and gaming during those times? What did your friends and family do that made you feel helped and comforted? Okay, maybe the latter part of that. I don't know. You can answer if you want to, but more importantly, the main question is, how have games helped you through difficult times?
Well, we'll start with Hogue here, since he has
I was going to say, the last year I've been half paralyzed and recovering sensation and function in my left hand, and games were the goal, right? Games were the milestone that I could aim at. And when I got out of the hospital in February of last year, I tried to play Hi-Fi Rush, and Hi-Fi Rush laughed at me and said no. And so that was one of those games that I kept going back to and trying. And I would start something like Jedi Survivor and try to play that and wind up wildly missing, jumping on things like a rope that's hung over two canyons and having trouble there. And it was a way to measure my ability of getting better. And I love games so much that it was a driver for consistently using my left hand, right? One of the things my physical therapist said was people that lose functionality in their non-dominant hand often have trouble getting it back because they don't use it for much of anything, right? Even typing, you can kind of get rid of the other hand and work with one hand, and your brain winds up doing that when you're not as functional on the other side. And with games, because of the way they're constructed, you really have to have both hands on a controller, even for a simpler game like a Diablo. And so it was my goal. It was what helped drive me forward, and it was fantastically effective. I talked to my therapist and said, we should do more of that here. We should have more of that stuff here, because it was really the outer edge of what I could do. Even when I had a functional grip, even when I was typing just fine, it was like the hardest thing was keeping the left stick moving in a direction without pulling down on the trigger and being able to use both hands at the same time to do different things. And so video games, I think, helped save me and my functionality this last year, and I can't say it better than that.
It's awesome. Well said. By the way, I'll just quickly plug your videos on your channel about your stroke journey as well. Very good. For me, I'll answer next. I've written a lot about this as well. I think anyone who watches us regularly or knows me knows that we lost a son. And so back in 2018, which was, tougher than I could ever really describe to anyone. But because of that, I started the Good in Gaming thing at SG, and a bunch of people, including myself, have written a bunch of different articles about how gaming has helped them either physically, to Hogue's point, mentally, through, all kinds of things. For me, a lot of escapism, which I think sometimes video games get a negative connotation for, but they shouldn't. It's just it's something that can really kind of help you curate your thoughts, especially the social aspect. For me, I'm a very social gamer. I play a lot of multiplayer. I talk about this all the time, right? So just being able to connect with friends, either friends that I've known in real life for years who are not local, or friends I've made online, and just play and veg out and, just enjoy myself without getting away from some of the other bad things that were going on, is very positive for me. So games are fantastic in that regard. And I would also recommend Dr. Rachel Cohort, who we've had on this show multiple times, her channel Zeitgeist. She is awesome, an actual doctor who studies the effect of games for Take-Two. Not Take-Two. Is it Take-Two? No, because Take-Two is the Rockstar owner, right?
They are that.
Yeah. Take This. Sorry, takethis.org, which, does a lot of work in the gaming space about how games can help. So I would recommend that as well. You guys, Travis, Dan, anything you want to say here?
Yeah, I mean, games have helped me through everything. I mean, it's literally like, I had a tough upbringing, and games were escapism and a way for me to, focus on something else and feel like I was building skills there and understanding art a little bit better. I've had a bunch of health issues in my life and spent long stretches in the hospital. Also went through PT, actually. And games were there to kind of get me through that while I was bedridden. And just general my kind of social failings. I'm not a very likable person. Never really had a lot of friends, and games were a way for me to connect with other people through multiplayer, and also just focus on something else. Actually, I think it was Rachel that was on the show and was talking about how games kind of flip the social script on its head, where instead of getting to know a person first and then trusting them with your doing like a shared activity together, you kind of have to like connect with them first and become friends, and then you go and you do like a rafting trip or whatever. Video games forces you to, before you know a person, trust them and cooperate with them and do something together, right? Like you're winning a multiplayer match together, or you're doing a raid together, whatever. And then afterwards you get through all the other bullshit of like, okay, now who are you? And that means that it kind of allows people like me to like make friends in reverse order, because I'm not really good at making friends the traditional way. So yeah, I mean, games have touched my life in innumerable ways. I wouldn't have a fiance without the games industry. I met her through, she worked for a PR company, and I was a writer. So I owe everything to this industry. It's just, yeah, this is a very long discussion.
Yeah, I knew this one would be a little longer one. The rest, I think this is probably the most serious one out of all of our questions. Dan, anything you want to comment on here?
I mean, I haven't had any kind of experience like that. I've just been playing for so long. Started playing with my dad, back with the Atari and stuff. And then for me, it's just always been there. It's like, part of your body or an extension of yourself, where it's like, if it wasn't there, you would notice, right? Like, and I think for everybody, I mean, you get that escapism. That's 100% what it is. Like, I don't typically like when we have issues or problems in the family, like I'm able to tackle them from a different perspective, because I don't let those problems consume me, because I always have that outlet where I can just kind of get away and go, okay, let me just clear my head real quick, come back, and then that's it. I mean, it's more of like a, just like eating or breathing or something, it's just part of what I do now. And so, I mean, but I do appreciate how it can help people, and it's undeniable. You see 3 great examples here, and so many more, probably millions out there that can, have benefited from, this medium. So, it's great. It's fantastic. I mean, you got to have it. Like, if I got rid of it, tomorrow, I'd be like, what am I doing? I mean, I would not know what to do with myself. So
it's funny you say that, because there's those stupid questions that come up on Twitter, like you get $1 billion and you have to give up pizza for a year, and it's like, well, of course, but one came up and it was like $1 million, but you have to give up gaming for a year, and I actually made me think. I was like,
I could do it. It'd be the worst year of my life. I could do it though.
There's no reason.
$1 million? I don't know if $1 million's enough for that.
No,
but
it's not.
$1 million? Yeah, I'd do it. That's like half of a house in SF. That's like real
you heard it here first, folks. If you hate Travis's reviews or him on the Bitcast, you just got to put $1 million in crowdfunding.
$1 million in front of him.
Dude, like legit, real offer. Let's go. Dude,
I got a wedding coming up.
Go.
It's an open bar. I got to get this stuff taken care of.